and I'm manager of regulatory affairs and engagement for CTI Plus Resources. My background, I'm a geologist, and I've worked in this part of BC for about 35 years in the oil and gas industry, and then I've been working on coal projects here since about 2010. I was born in Grand Prairie, so I'm from the Peace Country, then transferred to Calgary. Peter, do you want to give a little bit of your?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Peter. I pretty much support the engagement at a regulatory affairs side, and so my background, done a lot of work in BC on mainly pipeline projects. So it's kind of my background, and did some schooling in marketing and anthropology, and ended up in working for kind of mining companies.
So first of all, I just want to thank everybody for taking time to come and meet with us, and I'm going to keep it really informal. So ask away as I talk and give you an update on where we are with the Rocky Creek project, and then what our plans are for 2026. So again, let's just keep it very informal. We don't have a presentation. Peter did bring some maps and that, but yeah, no formal presentation. So since we last met, last February, at that time what we worked on mostly completing the detailed project description, acronym DPD. The DPD took into account all the comments that came back from the initial project description, and we had about over 400 comments come back from the public, from First Nations. So we take those comments, we respond to them, and then send them back to the government, and then we redo our project description based on the comments. So the detailed project description was submitted to the BC Environmental Assessment Office last October 19th, just over a month ago. And even through the strike, with our BC strike, we were still able to submit it. And the strike really only cost us maybe about 2 weeks delay. So the DPD now, again, we're getting comments back from the nations, from the public, and we're responding to that. And then that detailed project description will go to that one.
Yeah, so go ahead. It's
more
okay to
food.
put.
This is good. So the detailed project description now, there will be on our responses, how we responded to on the nation's comments, on the public comments, and how we possibly would make changes to the proposed mine design. And then that will all go back to the EAO. And now the federal government right now is not involved in this process, but they are involved just because we're looking at producing over 250,000 tons of rock per year. So once that brings to the federal assessment and provincial assessment. Now, the next major milestone will be about the third week of February, and that is when we are given what's called the readiness decision. So based on our detailed project description, again, how we responded, in comments, a decision is made on the readiness. So that means, are we ready to proceed? And we're either going to get a green light saying, hey, you're good to go, with what you have put into the detailed project description, you're good to go ahead. Or we could get a yellow light, which means that you're okay, but you can still proceed. However, you have to go back and do more work, more consultation. Maybe this nation or this community didn't like what you had planned, with loadouts or something like, I got more process attention there. Yeah. Or we just get a red light saying, hey, there's too many adverse effects that this project is going to bring to the nations and the community. is a no-go. So I will, of course, keep everybody, informed in February, on what that decision is. So between now and February, we're just, again, responding to any of the comments that are coming back. And then when did EAO say they're going to send it off for the readiness? That was January? Or first week of January?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were targeting that second week of January.
Yeah, okay, so between now and second week of January, that's when we wrap up everything with responses and then send for the decision. In the detailed project description, which is why you're probably here tonight, we have 3 options for loadout. 3 options, of course, next to Enersaw in your backyard.
Your front yard.
Yeah. Second option, and if you want me to explain more with the Hassler flat load, I'm happy to. The second option is we're in discussion with Canumaco to share, well, Russ, we were talking bromine, and Willow Creek, so the 2 are, hopefully we have it. Nothing has been finalized, we will share it, and it's still in the process of working. And the third option is to use the bull moose loadout, which Secunca, or Glencore, the Secunca project, we're looking at. So that's our third option.
You mentioned in here you responded to all of the comments from the people. I put in 3 different comments and I never got one response from anybody.
Oh, okay, right. So the comments don't go back to you. They go to the EAO, and then there's a log and negate, like we keep, they have all that. It's on a template. Like your comments, they go on this template, and then our responses, but the EAO has that. But then they, in the DPD, and there's like documents attached to the DPD, they're all in there. So I could probably get that for you. It's public. Everything we do is public. So other than the only thing, like, what would that be? Would that be with
Yeah, and so the DPD itself, I believe, would be on the EAO site.
Yeah.
So it is publicly available.
Yeah.
Your website is extremely hard to navigate.
Yeah, okay. So have you gone through EPIC, EPIC?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're
That was
saying.
even worse.
See if we can find a link.
Gee,
We
you're
have-
being
we have
impossible.
emails.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can see if we can get them a direct.
Yeah, why don't I do that? We'll hook you up. And I have, obviously I have your email, so we'll hook you up with that too. We can just, fire it off, because, you're having difficulties, yeah.
This isn't our first rodeo, so.
No, yeah,
If we can kill it in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
hey, yeah, but,
There's
but
no
slowly
reason
kill
to
it,
have a full load up and have it.
yeah, I know, we did some, if you were wondering, we were doing some archaeology work last summer. And we were some archaeological assessment that our consulting company wanted to do in the Hassler Flat area. And then along the proposed transmission line too, where there's private landowners, we stopped that. We said, no, we're, not until we have, what's happening and all that. So there was no archaeology. That's the one English word I have problems for saying is archaeology or archaeological. Yeah. So that none of it was done. So if you did see, thought it was, people wandering around with, archaeologists with their shovels and backpacks, it wasn't us.
No.
Yeah.
Not a good place to go is wandering across people's properties with a shovel.
No.
You might find out you're using it to dig your own grave.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said to our consultant. No, you don't. And I mean, somebody. Well, that's what I said to Peter too. That would be two graves. Yeah.
Hey, so I have a question. So these comments that are made public, are they answered in public, or is it just the comment that's public?
It's all actually, yeah, our answers is all public.
Is on there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you give Peter to your email address, we can
Yeah,
make
I
sure.
think you
Oh,
said
you
the
got
last one.
it.
So
We
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right too. Yeah, we do have it. Thanks, Peter. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, everything we want to be transparent. We want to be, obviously, and like I totally understand, if it's in anybody's backyard and, you have strangers showing up or, people wanting to, like plans being made without you knowing, that there it could be. So ideally, what we'd like to see the loadout is if we can sign an agreement, do agreement with Canumaco, that would be ideal. And
You got the haulback road there, which runs right next to your pit.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes directly into Canuma.
Mhm. Yeah.
It saves you the building of the infrastructure and the cleanup afterwards.
Yes, yeah. And what we've heard, like loud and clear from the nations and public and that, is that the less surface disturbance, of course, the better. And like, yeah, not to dig up any more ground and take down any more trees and that kind of thing. So that's where we're at.
Have you got a hold of, sulfur plant?
Sorry?
Have you got a hold of the sulfur plant at all?
Oh, yeah, Enersol, yeah, we have. And, I mean, they're been cooperative, but there's been no agreement signed or anything. We just wanted to let them know that we are looking there, but other than that, they respect all the residents of Haslett Flat, they really do. And, they didn't want, the residents of Haslett Flat to think that, they were making a deal with us, type of thing that, we were, but totally not, yeah. They,
Somebody learned their lesson.
yeah, so whatever meetings you have worked, but no, they're totally respectful. And
Have
they-
you talked to Enbridge
Enbridge,
about
no,
doing any disturbance along their pipeline?
Enbridge or
No.
CNRL?
CNRL, yeah.
No, CNRL owns the plant up top. Enbridge owns all the pipelines.
No, I know some, I know Enbridge, the people, but we didn't, no, we haven't spoken to them. Thank you.
Well, where you propose in that flats, putting your load out, you're going right next to their lines. And they get a little touchy if you start pounding anything in the ground. I mean, they had a crew of 5 of them down there when they put the bridge in. So,
Well,
it took longer than it should have, but starts to shake things, they shut it down.
because we have spoken to CNRL, their pipelines and SNRL but no, not Enbridge, but we'll look into that, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
I didn't realize
there's a
it.
crossing just down the way.
yeah, okay. So timelines, it depends what happens in February. So what could happen possibly is we can engage with 7 First Nation bands and 2 Métis groups. The Métis because the project is federally to the federals. The feds are involved as well, so that's why the 2 Métis groups. And the 2 Métis is Métis Nation BC and then Kelly Lake Métis. And then the 7 First Nations that we engage with north of the Peace are the Halfway River, Doig, and Blueberry. And then south of then east into Alberta, and don't ask me why, the Horse Lake First Nation, they're located in Hythe, Alberta. But the chief horseman there, she's just basically saying that whatever she just agrees or whatever was Moberly Soto, how their response is that what she will agree with. So she's just leaving basically West Moberly Soto or Horse Lake's voice. And then south of the Peace is, of course, is West Moberly, Soto, and McLeod Lake. And now, what could happen, and this has happened in other exploration projects, is that if a nation comes and says that this project will cause extraordinary adverse effects, the acronym is EAE, then that means that we will go into dispute resolution. And dispute resolution means that the government hasn't stopped the project, but we need to resolve this with that nation that has said it's extraordinary adverse effects. So then in that case, we pretty much have to sort of start over again with the detailed project description. Just go through again, where, how we can mitigate. So the project now in the,
Or you just ready to check, essentially.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
yeah,
She's trying to be very political.
yeah, yeah. 2 years, then going back to the drawing board, reconfiguring and to mitigation, more mitigation and more engagement, consultation. Yeah. So that could also happen. And I'm being transparent. We do have one First Nation band that is saying that this project will cause adverse effects on their territory.
Yeah.
This project. And our project, it's called the Rocky Creek Project. Sorry, I know, I'm not sure if you were familiar with the Rocky Creek, but yeah, but I know the metallurgical coal, which is used only for steel. Yeah. So that's, where we're at. So,
Is this project at all affected by the fast track program they're implementing?
no. We're not a critical mineral.
Okay.
So firstly, no, but second, it's totally not. And I have colleagues that do work in critical minerals on projects, and they're not seeing any fast tracking yet. Yeah, so I don't know,
And the bolt's gone now, that'll change.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely no fast tracking. If
So
we-
until you get, receive your EA certification, you're really not gonna look at a global loadout with any company until you get an approval of opening mine.
Correct, yeah. But that being said, Ross, was interesting, one of the comments that came back from the Soto First Nation was a really good comment, and this was just recent on the detailed project description, is that they would like to have a better idea of where the coal's gonna be, the loadout is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they, then the comment was like, shouldn't you know how you're gonna get the coal out, like, is that before you start blasting and, with the open pits and that. And then, so then I asked the EAO, like, will this, if we do not know where the loadout is, will this really delay the readiness decision? And the EAO came back and said, no, it will not, because that's normal, that we can still, if, the readiness decision is we can go ahead to the next stage, which is the environmental assessment. She said, then we would work on that through the environmental assessment, which is about a 2-year process, and then work on the loadout, yeah. So nothing would be done in.
Well, I know most of us in the flats, that we're up now it's about the loadout. We get enough coal dust from Canoe, especially every winter. Like I was talking earlier, snow looks like these tables, especially if the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
And it's in layers, and you can see it. And you look at the Hallback Road in the middle of it. There's no missing. You fly over, you know exactly where it is. It's one big black ugly street right across the whole property.
Yeah,
So we don't want to have, this all over the place.
yeah,
We got one place already dumping coal. All around their plant, there's nothing drifting away. But it doesn't just stay in the plant. Where they got all their sensors within that zoned area around the plant. Now you go another 5 miles outside of that, and there's coal dust everywhere.
yeah,
And it's not the small stuff, the big stuff you see. It's that 5 micron and smaller that travels. It can go 20 miles.
yeah,
I mean, we don't need more of that. We have enough pollution in this area as it is. So we can keep it in one spot and keep the mess there. Because I know when Western shut down and walked away, nobody looked after that site. The mess was there. Nobody put anything into the slope monitors. Their settling pond broke, dumped into the Pine River. Nobody was looking at it. I'm sorry, you start washing coal, you're gonna get selenium and all them other ugly things in there. Where does the village get its water? Same place.
Yeah.
So, to me, we don't need all these little black spots all over the province.
And again, you know, that's why we're here meeting too, because we understand that, and we wanna, you know, work with you, of course, you know, what is, you know, company wants to see, you know, the project developed, but, you know, but we also wanna do it where, you know, we're not, you know, destroying your lives and destroying, you know, yeah. Like again, you know, I keep always think to myself, is, you know, if it was my backyard, this is not, yeah.
We're not against, you know,
Yeah.
the jobs or the coal being mined or anything else like that. But, like I say, we don't need 5 loadouts all over the place. And, I mean, it's bad enough that when they walk away, nobody remediates the mine site
Yeah.
and stuff like this, so, you know, I mean, Quintet was what, 25, 30 years abandoned?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
remediated it.
Yeah.
It's still sitting there, big ugly scar,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no,
So,
it's canoe is problem, I guess.
Yeah, it is
they're
now.
gonna get, yeah.
What-
Restart that.
It's pretty early to tell, but what do you need for power supply?
We're working on it.
lots.
Yeah, lots, yeah.
Where will that come from?
We're, okay, well, we're in discussions with CNRL, possibly taking over their substations. They're the 2 KGB substations that they have, but we're still in discussion with that. But there would have to be new transmission lines built as well, yeah. I can't remember the power outage, or power that we supply that we need. It's on our detailed project description when you
No, it's just
receive
for
that,
the
we're
pit.
gonna get that to you.
Not needed for the pit. Yeah.
So it says in your commitment that we basically have these to mitigate potential impacts, whereas this would not be a potential impact, it would be 100% impact for everyone. So why are we even, like, it's just, it doesn't sound feasible, because you know damn well 100% is gonna impact everybody. Like, there's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like, potentially maybe, it's, yes, it's gonna 100% affect everybody. So why,
You might keep trying, yeah, like, yeah.
Lots of money in
Yeah.
coal.
Firstly, these brochures that you have, we just had them and they were printed, what, about a year and a half ago, a year ago, like they're kind of out of date. Because we've learned a lot more and, you know, we've been doing a lot more engagement since these brochures were printed. We just did that more for, like, show, you know, the company has something, we don't have any new brochures on like the latest and that. But yeah, I understand and you know, that's why, again, we're here, because we just wanted to, well, clear up any, you know, rumors that, you know, if you heard, oh, well, you know, we had our consultants in there that were doing shovel testing and archaeology work and all that sort of thing. We just wanted to make sure, you know, that they were not there, and because I know, you know, there were some rumors that were going around that they were going in behind your backs and, you know, doing some work and all that, but we weren't. So ideally, again, if we can, if we can have an agreement with Canuma, that's still the ideal situation, yeah, and we're working on it. But again, I just want, yeah, to let you know, we're not doing anything behind your backs or.
Do you know how much coal loss from the pit to the ship is?
No, that's, I know, what is that, that's
50%.
Really? Wow, yeah, because,
We went through and Walton started putting their stuff in and they wanted to put the load out in the flats. We did a full search of some of the other mines. It's 50% from the time they dig it out of the ground to the time it gets in the ship. And it's all that fine dust. And that's why it takes 4 days from here to the ship to get those cars down there, because you can't haul them steady. You gotta stop and soak them down. You run them dry, they catch fire.
yeah. And we've hired consultants, you know, in some of the best contractors, consultants on working on coal dust. We don't have an answer yet, but we're still working on it to minimize coal dust. And I don't know how we minimize, traffic, noise, from the train, like, if that it comes out of, or aerosol is, or,
I don't even notice it anymore. You?
Oh, the odd dinkhead who honks 3 million times.
Yeah. You should have these
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
just to annoy you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, I think it's a big.
When they're coming from further south, the rail cars, I guess that doesn't bother me.
They don't haul the cars into town.
Yeah,
They haul them south, they don't haul them into town and then haul them back out.
okay. Because we're looking at, what is it, about 110 carloads every second day. We go every second day, so 55, well, I'd say 55 a day, but 110 every second. And it would have to be like new cars, we couldn't share, like especially with
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's,
So if you use their loadout, you wouldn't need a loadout crew.
not sure, Russ, but,
You know, are you gonna
If we
ship
need
it as
a-
raw coal or are you gonna clarify it?
clean coal, it's not raw,
So-
it's gonna be cleaned on site.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'll back up the pit or you're gonna use Canoma's clarifiers?
We haven't got that far yet, we don't know, but right now would be back at the pit, at the mine site. But we haven't actually thought of talking to Canuma about, using
Yeah,
their,
that means you're shipping in powdered form, so you're gonna lose more.
yeah, that hasn't actually never been discussed or brought up with our consultants about the loss. Like, we've been looking at, how we minimize that dust, through a resin or spraying, but that's still to be more work to be done on that. Because that's, and even with the nations and all public comments, that was kind of the number one comment I think that was dust. Dust and, I guess, traffic. Water quality, yeah, and then from the nations, yeah.
Water quality by default.
And then, of course, the nations, impact to their treaty rights, which, the right to hunt and fish is very, and when it's an open pit mine, that one's affected. And then, also, peaceful enjoyment of when they're at their pleasure. And noise and that's, so. Been working with the nations on that mitigation. And it's quite common, like, I'll call it value components, cumulative effects, and pretty much between all the nations, they all have the same concerns. And all the value components, the nation has anything really different, noise, dust, impacted tree rates.
Was there discussion with the Southern Rocky Mountain Caribou? No, that caribou.
Well, so a total of 10 holes were drilled, total of about 800 meters with those 10 holes. This coal that we're looking at, Rocky Creek, is fairly shallow compared to like the Murray River project and then the Cold Skilling project, but that one's done, dead. Yeah.
Haven't been down in a long time.
Yeah. So this coal is relatively shallow, and basically one seam, one economic seam, and we get the information. So we will keep you posted, and again, anytime you have questions or you say what's going on, or you just want something answered, or you see people out there, or if you see an ERM truck or something, so you know what's going on, just I'll let you know what's going on, or phone me or text me. I'm happy to let you know what's going on.
I'll borrow your dog.
And we've been working with Mr. Cossack quite a bit, Michael Cossack, because on his land is, of course, where we were looking at the stockpile and all that, but however, he's, yeah,
You won't be drilling over or driving over Enbridge lines.
yeah. But he also respects his neighbors,
Yeah, he does.
yeah. Mhm. And I had invited him, like, he knows this is happening, but he's not sure actually, he's in BC or he's.
He's in Fort St. John.
Is he Fort St. John? Yeah. 'Cause I know he goes to, is it Kelowna?
They lost the ground some last year.
Yeah, that was so
Still
sad, yeah,
feeling that.
yeah, yeah. We're not sure if we're long lost relatives or, so my mom's maiden name from Grand Prairie is Cossack, K-O-S-I-K. So when I saw Michael's last name, you know, I said, geez, I think he might, be related or something. Anyway, when we met the first time, virtually, unfortunately, it's always been virtual. I just said, when I first saw your name, I thought maybe it was a spelling and you were, a distant cousin or, relative or something like that. And then I told him my last name, and then he immediately knew all my uncles, and which is not a good thing. My uncles, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know you Cossacks without the C, but yeah."
Small world.
Yeah, small world. Yeah, yeah, we had a good chuckle over that, but yeah. So yeah, that's again, as we move forward. So nothing's gonna happen until we hear that readiness decision.
So you expect to submit your draft EA third quarter this year or next year?
Sorry, what's the draft here?
Your EA,
We don't know yet. Okay, so.
looks like it says here third quarter of next year.
Well,
26.
yeah, if that depends on the readiness decision. So we haven't gone into the EA process yet. So we'll be told after the readiness decision if we can go into that process. So once we get into the EA, normally it'll take about 2 years to go through. Like I think in that it said about a year and a half, but a year and a half to 2 years to go through the process. And now we're doing a federal EA and a provincial. However, the feds and the province are trying to work closer together. They call it, they used to call it harmonization and all that. And then the federal government actually was taken to court back about a year and a half ago. I don't know if you heard that. That was when Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, they took the federal government to court because the feds were always stopping everything in the provinces. So the province said, hey, this is our jurisdiction, and so there was a court case and the provinces won, Supreme Court of Canada. So the feds are involved, but it's sort of BC leads. So, but we still have to do have two environmental assessment certificates. So the federal could still stop it, and it's, the feds are mostly, of course, navigable waters, species at risk, caribou, and birds.
So we do this for 5 years.
Lots of Red Bull. Well, there won't be anything happening that has the flat area for some time, yeah. And hopefully we can come to an agreement with Canada.
Gonna have to, because you're not building in the plants, not on them. We shut down the sulfur plant, we shut down that one too.
So did I kind of answer anybody's queries, or is there anything that I need like more clarification on?
What's the expected market? Is it China, Japan, India?
Most likely will be Asia, most likely China. And we don't know where the coal would be sold to, but definitely it's going over to Asia. Again, it would depend on your, highest bidder type of thing, but, it's Hyundai or Mitsubishi or LG or, yeah. But we don't know that yet, yeah. But it would definitely be heading.
Well, are you sure the markets are gonna be there, or even,
That-
other countries are producing coal too?
Yeah, that, of course, one never knows, the commodity prices and that. The coal's up right now, but again, we've all seen it just up and
You're
down,
talking
down.
5 years from now,
Yeah.
so gosh knows what.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry, it's down now, but it was up, I don't know, it was
Down
about a
July.
few months ago, yeah, yeah.
That's why Canuma is just, we call it holding even. They're not hiring, they're not, spending any money whatsoever because of the price of coal.
Yeah, and I guess I'm comparing it to like what it was like a couple of years ago. Now remember like in 2010 to 2015, there was all this talk, all these coal mines are gonna go in and all that because the commodity prices were so high, and then of course it just fell. But with to meet the global demand now of steel, so we just don't know, but they are optimistic about the coal prices will be.
A lot of money to be spent on an optimism.
Yeah. Well, there's not that many good deposits of this coal around the world. So you're fortunate. It's right next door to you. I don't know if I'm fortunate or unfortunate. Yeah.
So right now, you're just an exploration company at the moment, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're not a mine.
But you're talking about going into the mining,
Yeah.
that's where it takes the big bucks to get.
Yes, yeah. And we're okay, the investors that we do have this project, we have enough money to take it right through to construction. So we wouldn't be walking away and leaving a mess and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so and that's all public as well. The EAOs.
So what I see is you get it to the that construction stage and then the for sale sign goes up because.
No, not what I'm like. Of course, I'm not an investor and I'm not the executive director of the company or anything like that. But from what I know, no, they would happen, and they have the money to take this project right through to construction.
Who are your investors, do you know?
Chinese.
Chinese?
Yeah. Asian, yeah.
70 to 80% are Chinese.
We are a Canadian company, and the head office is in Calgary. I live in BC.
Yeah, but you live in Hansler, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure if you did, it'd be a little bit different.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
So just as a reminder, how much, so say everything goes wonderful, you guys get approval, it opens, what is the economic impact like for people employed for this area?
Okay, so thanks, Neil, and that's a good question. I should have addressed that.
Okay.
So we're looking at around 400 jobs, direct jobs, once construction starts and that. And then we've estimated around 200 spin-off jobs. And we believe in local talent, like it's just a no-brainer, these local talent, especially in this area, with the experience in that. And we'd be looking at setting up an office in Chetwynd here. And again, just hired local, and again, we don't know what happened in 5 years and that, if there's people, yeah. And as far as if the project goes forward, we are not looking at camps, right on site. We're looking at people living here, Tumblr.
What was your access road speed to fit?
Do you have a map or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, the apple box, the contact, and you turn that to.
So we said, Kaka would be sort of the northwest, you'd be looking at Blind Creek, down lower. And then toward the south would be Rocky Creek.
So you're gonna bus your workers in? Or
That's,
you're gonna
that is,
let
that
them
is
drive
the, that is the
themselves?
current plan.
Yeah.
Bus.
Yeah, because this doesn't really show the roads, does it?
It does if you, no, yeah, it's essentially Secaucus, and then you're looking at Blind Creek and Rocky Creek, forestry roads.
You care.
I think we have enough.
Yeah, I only printed 10, sorry.
Okay. If we're not, I'm gonna come take it away.
Can I take one?
Sure.
I think there was a question earlier about power, electricity to the site. So the proposal right now is to have the transmission line run adjacent to Secaucus. The majority of the transmission line. I think it's on there, like. Would be it would be the green line. It would be the power line for the site. So the green line on there is the proposed power line. So the majority of it will run up Secaucus.
And so you were saying 500 employees?
About just under 400.
And
Just under 400.
and that's to prepare the site, or is it ongoing
This
operation?
will be operational.
When you're operational, that's 500.
Yeah, 400. Yeah. And then, of course, the spin-offs. You probably can answer this better than me, but, projects I've worked on, we've always set a ratio of 3-to-1 direct spin-off. So,
That's kind of, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I think too. So I think that 200 is low.
It may be a minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
Spin-off, because, yeah, that's, and people always talk about spin-off jobs, but then I was expanding on too, like, you have spin-off jobs, but then those people have families, which then is more into the community as well, right? So I would say it reaches out farther than just the spin-off, so they're moving in and then have their spouses or family that are coming in, they're gonna be working at open businesses or working at local businesses around town as well too. So.
Yeah, so
Have a
probably,
big impact.
yeah, I think that could up that.
So why wasn't this site like, I don't know, mined or exploited, like decades ago when the other mines were open?
Not sure, they possibly could have run out of money, like, somebody, Rocky Creek was already, explored and, mapped and all that, so it wasn't, we weren't the first to come in.
Western came in way back. They found it too remote.
Okay, thanks, Ross, yeah. Which company
So
is
now,
that?
that's not.
Which company?
Western Coal, they had 5 or 6 areas that they were going to open up. It's easier for a small mine to open up a small pit, make up 5 or 6 of them, sell them to a bigger one. Now the environmental is all done. Now the stringent is for the big ones. Big one buys up small, it's going. That's what Western did.
Yeah, sometimes it's got companies just run out of money too. and
So-
everything.
This is the same map that you brought last year.
I believe so, right?
And you still have in here the Hasler Hall or Hall Road for coal, which
Proposed,
tells me you still are aiming for the Hasler.
proposed. But yeah,
Doesn't say proposed here.
no, it should say proposed.
Says Clean Hall Road Hasler Flats construction. And the other one is upgrade, and the other one is Clean Hall back. It may not need to be upgraded. There's no proposed in there.
The rail loop is proposed.
The railroad is.
Rail loop. Which is essentially
So with this, so like your investors, they have money for your mine and your load out, but do they understand how much work you have to do to make the roads, the rail, to make the pit? It's gonna cost like millions upon millions just to get a road to Hasler, let alone clear that for the pit. Do they realize it's gonna cost probably more to make all this shit to get to the load out than it is to build the pit and the mine? Like, do they know it's gonna cost that much?
I think they're aware of it, but I don't think they probably,
Like, they probably don't understand, like, they
Yeah.
don't, like, we're looking at this and going, holy crap, like, this is a huge undertaking of a job.
yeah.
Like, millions and millions of dollars just to make the roads, upgrade the rail track, like, the power lines. Just that alone is enough to, like, bankrupt somebody.
Well, let's just put it this way, I wasn't impressed with the guy, he was here, the Chinese guy.
We have been, obviously doing, we use Stantec for the engineering, on the engineering side. So they have been, doing cost and that. And then our executive director, she reports to the investors, and I don't know how often she does, but I think they have a good idea, but
Like, I don't think, like, have they actually taken the time to go out there in person?
no,
Because like where they're proposing this load out, it's swamp, it's like all bog.
yeah.
Like you would take a lot of like material to fill it up to make a solid pad to build on. Like it's gonna be, it just doesn't seem feasible to me.
They're gonna buy out, what do you call it, sulfur plant?
Yeah, yeah. And I recall that,
Sulfur and coal don't go together.
no,
Sulfur is used 90% for medicine. You mix coal with it, it's garbage. Can't even use it for fertilizer.
no, you're absolutely right, yeah. And that's why we have to look at totally different cars and, yeah. And then if that coal, that dust goes into their sulfur, like, they're not gonna be very happy.
So, seeing how this was brought up last time, since our last interaction, has anybody, I know Nathan just said, has anybody actually looked at it, but has it actually been consulted with anybody yet?
No,
No.
no. Again, we're trying to work on it.
What did you say you expected your production would be every year?
Clean coal, 2 million tons.
2 million tons.
Yeah, raw, 3.
And that was for how many years? Like,
We're looking at about 14 to 16 years.
And remind people like me who don't understand, why aren't the beds, the rail beds covered? Why can't you cover them to prevent dust?
Just
Fire.
for community fire?
Fire, coal,
They're combustible so that you can't contain them in a.
it'll explode. They have to wet them down every 2
Right,
days.
and there's no mesh that you can put on there or anything like that.
5 micron is the size of flour.
Right. All right, it's dust.
Going smaller than that, now you're containing it. The only way to prevent it from doing that is putting in a tank car with water. Then you have to strip it out the other end, and it won't ship in the winter.
They're coming out with like resins and types of polymers to spray, and that, we're looking into that, and Tech, Glencore, they have done some new technology trying to keep the coal dust down, so we're looking at that as well, but as Ron said, it's just so fine.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but it doesn't hold crap, next thing you know, it's all over it. Yeah, and when you get to the other end, you gotta scrape the top off. So, yeah, it's. So when do you plan to have another update?
When we like it now, after February, after the readiness decision.
This must be.
And unless you, like, just email me or text it, but nothing is gonna really change or happen until February, third week of February.
So after February, you'll have a little bit more actions to.
Yeah, probably still, well, probably not load up and that, just because we're still, unless, we achieve something with Canuma, yeah. But, okay, so if something happens with Canuma between now and February, I'll let you know.
Well, you got that responsibility there to see and the other bids.
Yeah. But after the readiness decision, again, I'll let you know if the readiness decision is a yellow light, we can go ahead, but, we need to do this, more so, salt form.
Everything has to happen in stages.
Yeah. Then how about we do, then I'll arrange to do an update then now what our next steps are.
The third week of February would be the earliest we'd find out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So it could potentially take longer.
March would work.
okay, yeah,
It'll give you time to get stuff together.
okay.
Have you talked to the local Canuma, or are you talking to their head office?
No local, but we have met with Brian, he lives in the States, right, Brian? Sullivan, yeah. So we have met with him, but the local. Well, they're Vancouver. Yeah, kind of. So, and we also just wanted to wish everybody a warm and happy and relaxing season, holiday. Yeah, I know, thanks Ross, yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah. But have a nice holiday too. I think everything's gonna pretty much be shutting down with everybody but
Tomorrow night is the big downtown, light up district parade, late night shopping. It's actually supposed to snow tomorrow, so it should be a lovely.
Nice.
It was only supposed to be like 0 and snowing, so I had this vision of like, but it's gonna be cooler, it's gonna be like -50, but yes.
It's gonna be like.
It's gonna be hot chocolate, and hot dogs, and popcorn, and all sorts of stuff. Just get here, oh, you guys know why?
Yeah, I should, yeah. I didn't see it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, your coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to the Hembry property last summer when there was a wedding. That is.
We don't look at it, so whatever
Whatever I'm doing, right?
Yeah, you're doing it right. Yeah.
Well, we'll see tomorrow when I get my home family.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're in this area.
Yeah.
This is the highway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you turn off, right? Turn off.
Hey, how are you?
Where is it?
Second time for me.
I'm gonna tie it on
You gave up. Have a great night.
you. Some of those little strings that go around with the whistle on them.
Whistle.
Yeah, she was just saved.
So you live near.
Okay. It's going to be, it's going to be. So if it.
thousand sky sparkles dance, and the stars go high, winter chills, but the colors fly. Tonight we're living on a side. Snowflakes burst in a chilly dream, radiant glow like a sunbeam. Laughter echoes like a silver stream, painting magic where shadows gleam.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that will talk and we'll go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. The sturdy